Well, great morning, everyone. I wanted to talk a little bit about the book, my book, Kali's Sword. Okay. Now, this book was put together, and that's when I was sannyas clothes. But this book was put together by one of my students. Now, the caveat in putting this together, it's very, very, very well done, I have to say, was that he could not change one word, one syllable of what I have said in talks, in admonitions, etc. So this is a absolutely faithful rendering of talks I have given. Now, the one thing I have to say about this, in this book, that might put people off because it's talking about not awakening Kundalini, just, willy-nilly going out there and thinking it's something you turn on and off at will, because you can't. But that being said, even if you're not walking the Kundalini path, you don't have that awakening, the things in here are still very valuable for people walking, especially at this time, because the energy here is amping up. Now, we are going through a societal transformation, and especially those that are becoming very sensitive to the energies, and you're having that ongoing shifts that are taking place. This could be quite valuable for you in your walk. So I'm just going to take I'm going to open this up to a couple of places and just read it. So this one is about this section, and it has, let me go back to the front here. It has all of these different, there are so many, 122, 140, 164 pages. And each one of these, about every couple of pages, it's a new topic, okay? So what I wanted to say on one thing, I talk about with realization, you're blown out. The identification that you were is blown out. And if you read this, you'll see that I've talked about some experiences before, and you'll find them in here exactly as I have stated them and continue to state them. Nothing changes in the wording or the experiences themselves, okay? So what I wanted to say, though, because part of it could freak people out, when I tell them the person that's going in there no longer remains, okay? That persona, how do I want to say it? You're a new creation in the fact that your story that you go into it with, all the baggage, all the ideology, all the illusion, the delusion is over. And you find 100% that what's at the core of all being is the divine is, so that zero. And you come out into that 0 point balance. You come into a balanced state, okay? So when I talk about, losing that identification, I'm talking about losing that, that old hagiography, about losing the storyline of whom you carried around, the toxicity, the toxic story, okay? That toxicity. And And when one goes through it, the mind stills. So anyway, I'll read a couple of things. This one is entitled The Reality of the Spiritual Path Beyond Illusion, Ego, and the Spiritual Marketplace. In the current spiritual climate, the path to realization is often misrepresented, marketed as blissful, easy, and instantly gratifying. But genuine realization, as presented in this raw and honest discourse, is far from illusion. It is an arduous, deeply personal, often painful process that demands everything from the seeker: integrity, resilience, surrender, and above all, the willingness to let go of the ego's endless demands. So number one, the spiritual path is not a fantasy playground. Many enter the spiritual path thinking they've found a divine shortcut to happiness. They treat God like a benevolent Santa Claus who will hand out blessings for just showing up. But this is a delusion. The spiritual journey is not about getting everything you want. It's about being stripped of all the false within you. The initial stages may feel expansive and blissful, often described as the honeymoon phase. But that's just the beginning. True transformation begins when the path becomes difficult. This is where most aspirants falter. The discomfort forces them to confront themselves, and instead of meeting the challenge, many turn against their teacher, project blame, and walk away, not realizing they have barely begun. Number two, misplaced devotion and the ego's deception. The ones who show up with the most dramatic proclamations of service, those who want to be at the teacher's feet, are often the ones who turn on the teacher when things get hard. They mistake the path for personal fulfillment and validation, and when they do not receive what their ego desires, they lash out. There is a deep pattern in spiritual seekers: the desire for recognition, for certainty, for a painless climb to the top. But realization demands that the ego be dismantled. It demands complete honesty, surrender, and the ability to sit in silence with one's own thoughts, fears, and unresolved emotional states. And yes, this happens, They will come and, oh, Guruji, and they become the biggest vipers. Oh, Lord have mercy. So number three, false gurus and the commodification of spirituality. One of the most sobering messages of this talk is the exposure of the guru industry. Today, many so-called spiritual teachers run large-scale operations selling spiritual experience like entertainment. The speaker makes a strong distinction between genuine, realized beings and those who build empires on performance, energy manipulation, and ego affirmation. Figures like Muji and even Eckhart Tolle are called out, not for having no experience, but for presenting a half-truth, a constructed show that pacifies followers rather than challenging them to burn away illusion. Manufactured quietude, slow speech, or creating energy-charged spaces with crowds can produce altered states, but these are not realization, they are spiritual sedatives. A true guru does not entertain. A true guru is a mirror, often a sharp one, exposing your attachments, illusions, and self-deception. The path is not to make you feel good, it is to take you beyond the self that craves to feel good. Number four, the hard reality of realization. The path to realization is likened to moving from hell to heaven. There is a reason for that phrase. It acknowledges the tremendous inner purging required. There will be dark nights, confrontations with fear so intense it feels demonic, psychologically dismemberment, and the sense of utter abandonment. Even Christ at his final hour cried, "Father, why have you forsaken me?" A reflection of the annihilation of the self. Now, when I'm talking about the self, I'm talking about the ego identifications with body, etc., the limitations that one has put on themselves as they transition through this. You may go through phases of out-of-body awareness, vivid dream revelations of past lives, and inner experiences that challenge every known boundary of your being. This is not metaphorical. It is literal transformation. The speaker references her own past experience with Chod practice. Oh yeah, this a powerful Tibetan tantric ritual involving the offering of one's body to hungry ghosts, and how it drove her to the edge of madness in a previous incarnation. This is not myth. It is a spiritual battlefield of ego and the soul. So yeah, when that happened, it's, this is hard to explain. Everything is in the now. So all of these past experiences are happening in other dimensions, okay? And so sometimes you are accessing, especially if you're walking an internal journey, something that will clarify what's going on in this lifetime that you can pull from that can help you in that transition. So in this lifetime, I had been going through, numerous rapes, okay? And I go, what the heck? Was I a mass rapist in another lifetime? What's going on? Why is this? And then I saw this ceremony that I'm a Tibetan monk. And I go into this, and you invite the hungry ghost to feed on your flesh, and it became very real to me. I could not see it as disillusion. I couldn't back out of it, and I lost my mind in that. And so I saw that I could not handle it on that energetic level. So it came in this lifetime as something more concrete, because there's nothing pleasant about rape, okay? It's a very violent, you know what goes into it, okay? And so I saw that was something to confront in this life in a more concrete state, because I could not deal with it on an etheric level, okay? So that's what happened with that. Lifetimes of preparation and grace. Realization does not occur in a single year of intense practice, as many seekers hope. It is the culmination of lifetimes of preparation. While rare beings like Ramana Maharishi may appear to have quick awakenings, they are the exception, not the rule. Even Buddha went through years of austerity before his enlightenment. The path is not linear, nor is it guaranteed. It is a grace that meets deep commitment. Number 6, detachment from cultural and gendered stereotypes. The spiritual path is not limited to India, to men, to ascetics with long beards. Enlightenment is not a cultural artifact or bound to bodily form. The speaker dismantles the idea that realization is reserved for certain races, genders, or lineages. Anyone who deeply surrenders and walks the path with sincerity can realize. Referencing a female enlightened being who once replied to the condescending monks, "I'm already enlightened, fool," the speaker reminds us that liberation knows no gender and no cultural passport. Number 7, why most people don't really want liberation. While many claim to seek liberation, Most actually seek comfort, self-validation, or the ability to control their lives more efficiently. Few are willing to give up the illusion of being a separate personal self. True realization means the total death of the ego. It is not self-improvement, it is self-extinction. Now, when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about this toxicity that one has carried and the belief that one is a limited identification into a separate physicality of body, etc. Okay? You are not the body, you are not the persona. Realization reveals that consciousness is primary. Consciousness programs the brain, not the other way around. This overturns much of what modern science holds as true. So they're backwards. They want to say that the brain creates consciousness. No, consciousness programs the brain. This is why if you have had a stroke or something, you can reprogram the brain, but you've got to start doing it early. And it's the consciousness, that connection. The brain is like the computer. The consciousness is the one that programs the computer. The computer is the midpoint between that and the vehicle. Okay? So let's go forward. Number 8, final reflections. Be serious or don't begin. A genuine teacher will not sell you fantasy. They won't give you sugar-coated affirmations. They will demand your full engagement if you're not ready to do the work 24/7, to sit in silence, to face your inner demons, to live without constant distraction, then don't begin. Those, those who sell you a dream are not liberators. They are entertainers, spiritual merchants. And the teacher who quietly walks the path and offers guidance without fanfare, often without payment, is far more likely to be real. Conclusion. Realization is not a vacation. It is a crucifixion followed by resurrection. It is not instant peace, but a war against illusion. The path demands all of you. You cannot look back, you cannot keep attachments, you cannot play games with truth. And if you're truly ready, truly willing to surrender everything you think you are, then grace will find you. The teacher will appear. The path will unfold. But know this, it is not for the faint of heart. Okay? So that's one of them. Let me know if you're interested in hearing any more of these. I'll just leave that one there so you can get an idea of what this is about. There are okay, I'll read this one other thing. There are some exercises, some things that you can do here. So I'll just read this one. The Pathless Zen Simplified Tools to Reveal the Truth. There is what you could call a path of no path, or sometimes I call it the simplified Zen living. This helps to center and move you forward. Every moment can be used for spiritual sadhana or spiritual practice, okay? It must become a mindset, a natural way of life. There are some techniques that you can use. It takes you moving forward one step at a time. These are tools that I have found along the way. If you haven't started this practice, then begin. So we will have to, 1, relax. Just be aware of your breathing. Go into the breath and completely relax. Don't attempt to slow it. just be aware of it, and then be aware of the body within, centered in the heart, the right side of the chest. Number 2, focus on one experience, one thing at a time. Mindfulness. Number 3, stay in the present, no past, no future. Number 4, watch the thoughts and be aware of the body and space. Active Vipassana witnessing. Number 5, reject everything that you hold to be you that is transient in nature until you come to what remains, the essence, neti, self-inquiry. So what about you is transient? The body is transient, therefore it cannot be the divine is. Your thoughts are transient, neti, they cannot be the divine is. The emotions are transient, therefore they cannot be the divine is. And this is what you do. You sit with each one of these things, but you contemplate them deeply and then continue to dismiss them. Everything that is transient cannot be the divine is. Number 6, live your highest truth at all times, honestly and ethically. 7, see every moment as sacred and conduct yourself as such. Number 8, repeat the mantra Om. Be aware of the sound, the vibration, and then switch and be aware of the silence. So, Om. Number 9, repeat an audible mantra. One which is very good is I am that I am, I am that I am, I am that I am, I am that I am. When you're doing the I am that I am, eyes closed, and focus is in the heart center. Number 10, repeat an open eye mantra when walking. Om that I am, whatever you see, Om that I am, because you are also part and parcel of that. This breaks down your feeling of separation from existence and life. So with the eyes closed, focused on the heart, I am that I am, I am that I am. With eyes open, Om that I am, whether it's dog, tree, other person, Om that I am also them. They are also me. We are one. Okay. Number 11, realize that every experience is transient in nature and that it will change. Number 12, see rising emotions as simply movements of energized perception and don't label them. Okay. Emotions are just moving energy. So don't get caught in defining them. Just feel that energy moving. 13, realize that energy is neutral. It is only our perception that makes it appear positive or negative. Again, this comes with just feeling emotions and not putting labels on it. Don't put storylines on it. Just feel it as an energetic movement. 14, everything within the transient realm is directed and held in place by mind, and the identification with your story experiences. When mind is transcended, so are the illusions. Okay? So there is now how to use the tools. Those were the tools. There's another part that goes more deeply into each one of those and explains it and how to use it, how to go forward. There's also a guided contemplation on here as a that is there to expand you Okay, it's an expansion one. And so that's it. I mean, it's full of a lot of things that can aid people on their journey to realization, to discover who and what you are, and just as importantly, what you are not, okay, as the case may be. And what you are not is all of the things that come up that are not liberating, not freeing. Those are illusions, and it is not what you are. It is not who you are. It is a confining, limiting storyline that you have told yourself and that you have adopted as fact, that you need to come to the point of finding out that it is total illusion, which you have bound yourself with around a physicality that is limiting for you to have the expression of 3D on this planet. Okay, so if you're interested in this book, Kali's Sword, you can get it through Amazon. And every word in here is absolutely from my mouth, what I have said. And like I said, when he put this book together, I said, you cannot change one iota or one thing that has been said here. It has to be said exactly as I have said it. So he took 100% these things and transcribed them and put them in this book, Kali's Sword. So let me know, those of you that are interested in get this book, and let me know how you're doing with it. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you online.